Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode at Afrifama Poultry. My name is Njuguna Hilary. I'm co-founder of this startup. I'm an entrepreneur and a business developer. Now, today it's day 14. I know we started this journey like 15 days ago. It's been an amazing journey so far, and we want to see the progress, how far we have come, and especially what's so unique about day 14 and why are we here today. So let's get in the poultry farm, and as you can see behind me is just the entrance of the poultry farm. But before I go in, we have to make sure we've taken care of key things, and the first thing is I need to be protected before getting into the poultry department. Let's get in. Yes, what I'm taking in is I've just worn my gumboots. Of course, I have to leave my shoes from outside, and these particular gumboots, they actually don't leave these facilities. So the next thing is the foot bath. I'm going to dip myself into, because so we have water drinkers right there. They're just waiting to measure water, because we'll be doing second vaccination, that is Newcastle. I'll be talking about it later on. And yeah, there you go. That's our brooder, majestic as ever and beautifully designed by you as an Henri, the entrepreneur. Now on my farthest end, we have the poultry manager, Keshindo. He is working on filling in the feeders. At this moment, we're still using the baby feeders, and I like this particular model because it minimizes on the wastages. And yeah, now we do have others as well. They'll be going to be filled, and then later on they're going to be introduced to the birds. And I know what you're waiting for, it to be able now to meet the birds. Now I know most of you are wondering, where's that sounds coming from? Let's meet our bird, and it's a new day. Welcome to day 14. Let's go in. Hey guys, there they are. Now they are very eager. Don't be fooled that they are trying to get a selfie. No. So wow, that one just jumped. So apparently they are big. You can't believe we just started this journey one day 14 days ago, and right now at day 14, this is how huge they are. Now what's going on? It's the feeding time, and in the feeding time they are always relentless. They know the manager, they know me, and yeah, so they are all waiting. And as usual, I have a question for you. Can you be able to spot a difference in our brooding area, or rather our production area? If you can, please make sure you leave a comment below. Now let me try to zoom in and see what we are saying. Can you spot the difference? If you say it, then you can tell me. So it's a morning routine, and now it's the feeding time. We'll have the what we call the baby feeders have just been removed, and they are getting refilled. And then we have something new. Yes, you can see it. It's right there. We are introducing the big feeders. I mean, this is a new one because now they are leaving past of course they're still brooding, but their feeds need has actually increased. So what we do is we introduce now a new way of feeding gradually. So they are getting used to these big tubes, and eventually once we are able to remove the small ones, now they can be able now to adjust to the new feeding system. Now let's get into the poultry area and get a close-up of the birds. So the brooding process is still going on, and the next difference you can be able to see is we have the stands. Let me go closer so you can be able to mean. You see where the birds are perching. Now those are not stands for perching. Yeah? We use them for drinkers. As you can see, our birds have come of age. And now you need to prevent yourself from coccidiosis. And the best way to do that is to ensure that the feeds consumed and the water consumed, they don't have any contact with any dirt, because usually the dirt is what brings in any bacteria infections. Now that's a new thing. And apart from that, you're also noticing that there is no water in this facility. And you'll be like, well, is that a mistake, Miss Njoguna? No, it's not a mistake. Now, during vaccination process, we tend to withdraw water for the first 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes to ensure that all the birds are thirsty enough. So by the moment you're bringing in your vaccine, now every bird will be able to get enough vaccine. Now, if you have not removed the water by that moment, then you're going to have a problem, because you're not sure if every bird will be looking to drink. And remember, all vaccines are administered using drinking water. So hence, this is why it's important. So in few minutes time, we'll be administering our Newcastle vaccine, and I'll be talking you through it, and hopefully you can be able to learn more on the same. So our birds are all grown, and as you can be able to see, 14 days can do a big difference. And we have one right here, and we really want to take a selfie. Now, when it comes to feedings, we usually introduce the starters. Now, the starters usually helps with the preparations of body structures, because now after around day 18, we are going to introduce the new feed, and you're going to see now even a bigger dip on the same. So we have just seen the birds, and we now need to get into the morning routine. Now, before even we administer the vaccine, we also need to take care of something first. Now, as I was filming, you could be able to see the floor. Now, on the floor, it's not as good as it looks to, and that's why it's so important as a poultry farmer to make sure you check on your beddings every morning. So what we're going to be doing next is what we call raking. You remember earlier on when I was introducing the depth of your beddings, and in this particular case I don't refer to the beds we use back home, but rather the wood shavings. So what we're going to do is we'll do the raking, and the raking is going to help us like the fecal matter to go down, and whatever it's now dry from down there, it's supposed to come up. And obviously this is going to be effective when it comes to preventions of coccidiosis. This is one of very dangerous, and I mean dangerous disease when it comes to your flock. and is usually caused by either wetness on the floor or maybe accumulated waste material from the birds. Now, as a farmer, you need to ensure that it's not super accumulated, and if it's accumulated, then it's not wet. It should be dry. Now, that's where raking comes in. See you in the next scene. As I had informed you earlier, once you look at the floor, you are able to realize that there was an issue. Now, you don't need that pan being around there, and with the help of our farm manager, we are doing the raking, and it's very critical for you to be able to do this. And obviously, you can now be able to see the birds have migrated to the other side, and we're going to do this across, and I'll be able to go in, and you'll be able to see that it usually makes sure that your beddings, and as I said, not your blankets, but your wood shavings, they are dry, and that's what we call your litter, and there's minimal risk of your flock being infected by coccidiosis. Now let's get closer by and get to see how is it being done, and also get to see the litter ourselves. Is it dry, as I'm saying, or is it wet? Now I also want you to observe something. My farm manager, just like me, has his boots on, and these boots are usually just used for these particular facilities. This is one of proper biosecurity. It might seem simple, but it's very critical if it's ignored. Now, the raking is ongoing, and as you can be able to see, it's actually super dry waste matter, and I can even be able to test it myself and be able to see this is dry. Now it's still even deeper, as I was showing you the other way down, and this is good because if let's go to this example here, if you left it at like this, now the fecal matter will be able to accumulate, and eventually these birds, as you can be able to see them, then they will be affected, since this is where they sleep, or rather, as the name suggests, this is their bedding. Now, as a good poultry farmer, you need to make sure that this material is raked every morning before you give your birds feeds or water. And why am I saying every morning? Now, let's assume you had your water close to that stand right there. What would happen? One thing, the chances are your water is going to be infected. And how is it? Because as you can be able to see the movement of that ray, it's going up and forth. And the chances are the litter can be able to get inside the drinkers. And that is bad news because, well, this material is not just litter. It's made up of fecal materials of our little friends here. Now, if that gets into the water, then I mentioned earlier, you run the risk of your flock being infected by coccidiosis. And if that happens, then my friend, you are not in business. Now, these are some of the key things as a poultry farmer you need to consider, and if you do them in the right manner, then you are in business. So now that's how the raking it's being done. So the raking is going along well, and Mr. Kashindo is doing an amazing work. By the way, later on I'll be talking about how far we have come together with him. Without his, obviously his help and his determination to oversee that we run a successful poultry farm, we wouldn't be here. Obviously, we'll also be talking the importance of getting good employees who can be able to believe in your vision and understand how far you want to go. Now, back to the raking, you can now be able to see and observe how it's ongoing. I know they are a little bit lengthened, but it's understandable. Now, let's shift our focus to our environment. And when I mean to our environment is what is surrounding. Now, I want you to look a bit closer to the background. There's a new thing, right? Or there's a new change. And most of you can remember during my first video, that background was not as clear as it is today. Now, what we do is when you're doing your raking is you have to ensure that there is good aeration and that whatever you're raking, the air is able to flow freely. So if there was any ammonia gas can be able to be removed from the poultry house. Now this morning, as part of the routine, we were actually able to open up our brooding house from all the corners, all the way from our entrance, all the way to that further corner there. Later on, I'll be giving you guys a tour on the poultry facilities and to this end in our brooder. And it's actually refreshing. Now, this is what usually happens. If you are able to walk into your poultry production facility and you cannot be able to breathe in fresh air, then you are in trouble, my friend. So you need to ensure that anytime you walk in, the air you breathe is fresh. And the best way to do that is to ensure you have a well ventilated house. Now, in a future video, we'll make one episode on proper house building, what you need to determine, especially what you need to follow, what you need to do, and what are the dimensions if you're here in the coastal region. Now, in my background, that is our brooding facilities. As I said, it's very huge, and in the future, we actually want to be or to go bigger than what you see. Now, let's shift our focus back to our production and see how is the raking going on before later on now going to the vaccinations and of course checking in few things. So the raking, it's almost over. He started from right here, and as you can see, the birds are really enjoying that dry material surfacing, and most of them, they're actually bathing, which is amazing. Sometimes it's just fascinating to see how the birds behave, and the others are just going over the father's end so that by the moment he is done, then they'll be able. Now, other than raking, there's also new thing that we did yesterday. Now what we did yesterday is we actually expanded our brooder facilities, and this is usually done once you check your flock, and then you are able to see they are increasing in size, which means if when they come in when they were day old, then they just occupied a small surface, and now after 14 days they are huge. And now the initial brooder was just like what you see on that end, you couldn't be able to find even a place now to get into. Now that's not advisable. So you need to have a brooder with free space, so you can be able to place your feeds, you place your water, and of course your source of it, that is the geckos, and that you can also have space to move around. So that's also a new change that we made. And later on we'll also be opening it up, and on this end we are still, this is where we store our dry matter. It's quite a hill, and this will be critical because possibly in day 20 or day 18 we are going to have to remove the birds from the brooding area, and we are going now to shift our focus all the way to that end, and we'll need this. Now this is not enough. Later on today we'll be going for 5 bags, so that will be enough to cover, because we usually don't change. So there goes our bird. They are excited, and as usual they want to say hello. If you like them, make sure you subscribe to our channels, and you'll be getting to know their journey since they were here day 1 and until they reach maturity. Now we are almost done with the raking, and the next phase will be to administering the vaccine. Let's see you guys on the other end. And also something else, you still see our brooders, geckos, they're still on, the fire is there, and you can be able to see the little dog right there.